so many things the first season. I mean, from splitting up with Joel to becoming a comedian, like a rising star in comedy in the New York scene. And so I was just wondering, what can we expect from her character in season 2?
Well, Midge put a lot of effort into keeping her very distinct world separate in season 1. She has her life as a mother and a housewife and a daughter, her life as a working woman at B. Altman, and her life as a budding stand-up comedian with Susie. And she's sitting on this giant, kind of explosive secret as season 2 starts, and it becomes harder and harder despite her best efforts to keep those worlds from colliding. Obviously, when you make a giant life-altering decision like this, it affects everyone around you just as much as it affects you. And so that's what we'll be exploring in the second season, the ways in which her different worlds collide and absorb into one another and bounce off of one another. It's very exciting.
Very exciting. The starting episodes are shot in Paris, and there's one major thing that happened. Rose escapes unannounced to Paris, and I'd like to know, how did it affect your character this season, and what did it bring to your character?
Well, I see this character, especially in season 1, he fancies himself an accomplished person, a capable person. He always feels, I always get the sense that Abe feels like he's always 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
He can deal with whatever comes his way. And what happens toward the end of season 1, and then as we see in the beginning of season 2, he discovers that he's not 2 steps ahead. He's actually 4 steps behind in every area of his life. He has the daughter he thought he knew and doesn't know. His wife does this unexpected thing. And so he's kind of playing catch up.
Their relationship, it's like this odd couple. We fought really hard to get on track and go after this dream together, and now it's like, oh shit, can we do this? Are we even compatible? Can I be a manager? Do I even know what I'm doing? Do I have enough resources to make this happen? And so I think it's terrifying for both of us, and Susie's always terrified that I think Midge is going to leave her. I think it's much like a love triangle. It's her new life and her old life, and we're both vying for her love and her attention.
So yeah, in the second season, he's still trying to find his way. He's still trying to find something that makes him happy, and he ends up kind of saving his father's factory and working for his father. And then there's more stuff after that, but I'm not going to give away anything.
I think you just did, by the way. But I think you were allowed to say that. We were allowed to say that.
And I did get a phone call from Amy and Dan and asked me if I knew French. I said I didn't really, and I'd have to learn. So I conjugated a lot of verbs and waited patiently to find out what else I should know. And I think I might have written a little email to you, Amy, saying, can you give me any news? And do you
Yeah, we tend to do that. We tend to just call people and say, do you know how to do this? And we don't tell them why. Because we're horrible. And if we have to live in a constant state of panic, we want everyone to live in a panic with us. But we did leave it out. We did leave it out.
And the news was, after a number of months of conjugating those verbs, I got the script, and then we pretty much quickly did a read-through, and then a few days later headed off to Paris, and I never wanted to leave.
Wow.
So that's sort of it.
And I will say that Maren, after she got the script, sent an email to the effect of, there's a lot of French in here. Like, she thought a couple of lines, a line here and there. It's like she's got whole scenes where she's talking to the dog in French, she's talking to everyone in French, and it's a lot of French. Had gone to school and had a great affection for. She listens to French music, and she always wishes that she had sent Midge to Paris for a couple of years to experience that, and so it felt organic when she was going through something in her life that made her feel unsettled and disappointed and questioning all the choices that she made, that she would want to turn towards something that made her feel good, and that she felt sort of young and strong and rejuvenated again. And so we picked Paris. Plus, we got to go to Paris, and we didn't pay for it, so that's not bad. And we also had the opportunity to then, you know, it's fun turning New York into 1959 New York. It's fun doing the cars and the clothes and the extras, and it was really fun then being able to go to Paris and dramatize what that was, because it's equally as beautiful as our New York, but in a very different way. They were going through a different time. They were still rebuilding from the war, so that there was a much more, their street life was very different from the New York street life. The street characters were very different visually from the street characters in New York, and that was just sort of a great challenge for us and for our fabulous crew. And also, don't forget, when I was on Roseanne and when we did Gilmore Girls, there was no Amazon, there was no Netflix, there was no Hulu. Those things didn't exist, so your outlets were very limited. If you weren't HBO, you were on regular network, really. And but now the network structure is so deadly if you have any sort of creative instinct whatsoever. It's like they just want to kill you slowly and at the same time make you hawk Wonder Bread and write Wonder Bread into every scene because Wonder Bread's paying for it, and it's a mind-numbing, soul-sucking, life-ending. It's like constant time at home with my parents. It's just, it's so awful that, am I off track? I'm just saying we really like Amazon because it's a world where a character like Midge can exist. It's a world where women aren't judged by their likability or judged by, you know, how you know, hot they look in terms of, you know, 4 dudes' eyes who all wear the same suit and kind of look the same, and one of them's going to be named Stu. And it's a world where women can be complex and they can make mistakes and be angry, and nobody's going to tell you to tone it down. And the network world is a world where those are battles that you are going to fight on a daily basis. You know, instead the discussions that we have are, hey, we want to spend a lot of money and go to Paris, what do you think? And 9 out of 10 times, if the creative vision is there, it's going to be yes, because Amazon is a place that wants you to be different and wants you to look different and to give them something that they can be very, very proud of. And they don't seem to give a shit about Wonder Bread. I have not had one Wonder Bread conversation with anybody at Amazon.
They don't know what Wonder Bread is.
It's a product. What's a good product here?
We know how great the bread is here. It's the opposite of that.
And I realized after doing Robert De Niro for many years that it's very similar to Mussolini.